I'm sorry, I forgot to put it on again. I forgot to put it on disturb, do not disturb. I wish I knew how to put it together. Anyway, so with this keep an open mind here, we have, please continue on, because I know sometimes you all stay on my first one, but y'all don't go to my second one. High power is really leading you to be able to, with these downloads, going and you leaving the fourth dimension, going into the fifth dimension, and you're leaving dimensions, whichever way you want to look at it. And you go ascending higher to another level, so that might help you to understand. The higher power is helping you as well to be able to keep an open mind and see things differently than what you had done in the past. You got this unfinished business. You're keeping an open mind because, you know, some of you are kind of at the point as divine masculine, a little tired of how this closed-mindedness that you have experienced in the past have led you to where you are, which is at the point where now you are having unfinished business because of this closed-mindedness consciousness that you have been practicing. So now with you keeping an open mind, it's going to help you believe that it's going to help you to kind of finish off this symphony. Okay, which is to help you get to finish off the symphony. Could be for you going to the divine feminine, get reconciliation, starting continue on you all's relationship, or maybe you get to the point that will probably be closure, and she might say, you know, it's nice, I'm glad you came, you talked to me, divine masculine, you told me what your man told me what had happened, why things occurred in the way, in the manner that they did. I thank you for that closure that you gave me. Hopefully I'm giving you closure. And some of the divine feminists might in their mind say, no, you know what, I'm committed to soulmate right now. We get married, we got kids, or whatever it might be. And, you know, right now I'm happy where I am, and I'm just going to pray. I'm going to pray to you to say that, you know, the divine masculine didn't like that pop something. Okay, well, I'm just telling you, that's not how it's supposed to go. But, you know, some of them might be, I feel the upsetness with it. I'm sorry that I upset you, divine masculine. However, that's the truth. Some of them might say that. And so, you know, some of them might feel at this point that they're very happy with where they are. And so, you know, that they're going to give you the sign of the cross and the blessing to tell you to go on forth and go unite with your divine, with your soulmate or whoever might be in there, because they're saying right now you unite. I think about it. I think it was one that she said thank you. I talked to her this morning. It was saying the same thing that she said. Honestly, although I'm on this channel and I'm talking about my divine, you know, you all in unions and twins and all this stuff. She said, but at this time, she said, I'm honestly, you know, I'm kind of at the point I haven't detached. She said, I haven't said forget it, but I have detached it. She said, I've gotten to the point that, you know, she said, really tell you the truth, that I have lost respect. She said, because of the things that my divine masculine did to me, I have truly lost respect for him. She said, and that really is a bad point to be at when you have lost respect for him. I said Sun Divine, that's her name, because she's almost like a hybrid of mine. Sun Divine. She said that. She's like, you know, she's the one that's talking about controlling. I'm watching her. She's new as well. I need to put her down in my listings. And she was saying that, you know, she's gotten to the point that she's like, I don't respect him. And that's a real bad place to be. And I wrote back to her. I said, it's a bad place for you to be for when you done lost respect and when you lost trust. You know, that's something that's kind of issue that's going on with me. When you lose those two things, it's a very hard thing. And she's like, you know, you just be consistent and really just show yourself. That's going to really be able to show that you're really serious about, you know, making this reconciliation. And that same thing, divine master, you in that position. You know, there are a lot of divine feminists that feeling the same thing as combination myself and Sun Divine, which is, you know, she has the respect issue. I have the trust issue, which some people say they go hand in hand. And that's something that you're going to have to really work hard at. You can't just come up, da-da-da, here I am, I'm back now. And then that's it. And your presence is going to wow her over and say that's it. You got to do some extra kind of work to go along with that. Okay? And so with that, it says round and round. That's the same thing, like I said. You want to make sure you're turning that wheel, just like I said. We see that now, keep an open mind, that, you know, the way how you was thinking maybe yesterday is not the same way you thinking today about some things. And you really want to have that round and round thing, motion going on, because you, like I said, you want to make a difference. You want to make that 360, that turnaround from where you started from. And when, you know, even though, like I said before, you might start off the same way, but when you come back to something, you should come back as a new creature, not with the same things, because otherwise you have no growth and you have not learned anything. And so to me, that's not open-minded. So you really want to make sure that you end that cycle. That's why I remember saying, when I say 9, you end that cycle that's going on when you got 2 and 5, which you are into the being truly spiritual completion in this all. So that's why you gotta have to keep in mind, open mind about how she's different and you different, because really, to tell you the truth, right there, the gifts that your counterpart or your divine unisoul has, or your sister partner has, really are those things that, like they say, they counteract, and together you make a whole package deal. Okay, and so that's going to help to also in the cycle. So that means even within yourself. So once you get that emotional with the analytical side together, that's going to help to start the spiritual completion process as well, and an end of the cycle. Okay. Then we have here, very soon, clarified by go the distance. Okay. So right now, some of you all might be feeling like you want to give up. You know, say it don't look like things is changing. You know, she ain't never going to take me back, or this situation is always going to be here with this job, because if I quit this job, oh my God, I don't know what kind of money I'm going to have. I can't even think about trying to approach my divine feminine. I ain't got no job, no means to take care of, bring something to the table. But you got to really still go the distance. Some of this going the distance means some of you are just losing faith. You know, just saying, you know, I can't do it. You know, you're thinking about it, and then midway you like, just forget it. I can't do it. Okay. Because you want to be able to go the distance with this, because you want to breathe. Some of you all, again, I told you all this before, you're in these situations, you're hyperventilating, you're panicking, you're not even really having the ability to breathe easy. Breathe, to me, to be able to breathe, me, there's a sense of a freedom about things, an openness about things. And you're so closed and so tensed, and everything like that, you scared about making any kind of moves, because you don't know what the heck the daggone the karmic situation, the karmic person, place, thing is gonna do. And so you tensed up about that, and you just shallow breathing on everything, and say, oh my God, I can't breathe, because they hear me breathing, they gonna come here and we gonna have a second round of us arguing again, and you know, things like that. So you want to get to the point that, you know, you want this to end so you can be able to breathe. You've been holding your breath, you know, like they say in the movie, waiting to exhale. You've been waiting to exhale. You ain't had no being able to have your own Stella got the groove back moment. And that usually happens when you have your divine feminine. You know, when you have that, you're able to breathe. You have to be free. You have that fluidity, that movement, that lightness of air. So that's that. So the events that's going to happen this week for you that's cataclysmic is life experiences. A significant life event. Powerful revelation that leads to change, time to spread your wings. So something's going to happen this week that's going to make you be like, oh, wow. Now I told you, this week we have a lot of the purging of the mental purge, a lot of thinking. Okay, I think not too long back we had something emotional. We purged some things. So that's going to help, because that's going to be very significant and very powerful. Something might also occur and happen in your life that's going to change some things as well. And it's going to bring a revelation to you as well. And time to spread your wings. So that's going to help you to ascend, to get to another level. It's going to help you spread your wings to become almost like the tribe card, to become much bigger than where you are, to become much lighter than where you are. And to be, again, spread your wings, that it's going to help you to breathe as well. And then also this week you have the World. A job well done, joy, contentment, and gratitude, the path toward enlightenment. Once you achieve those things, what I see here is that you're going to get the job well done. You're going to have joy, contentment, and gratitude. And the world is going to open up for you. And you're going to really be standing in your power once you do that. So it looks like to me with the Divine Feminine, she says she's standing in her power with the New Love card. And you're going to be standing in your power as well, Divine Masculine, at the end of whatever this event that's going to take place. And this is going to lead you to the path of enlightenment. I had someone also, let me see, I can read this to you. This is a prayer that was given. Okay, and the picture pops up. Okay, that was given to me through Twin Flames Love Tarot, and she was saying this is for April the 14th to the 20th. She did a community post, and on here she has a prayer on here that says, she said this affirmation every day. I say it 3 times. She said memorize it, recite it, and believe it. Thanks be to God, the divine force moving my divine partner and I to a higher level of consciousness, especially when you talk about the path of enlightenment. So again, thanks be to God, the divine force moving my divine partner, and I to a higher level of consciousness. Thanks be to God, the divine force moving my divine partner and I to a higher level of consciousness. Okay, so you saying, and let that also, just to be able to be respectful, because everybody has, you know, the free will thing, but make sure that you be respectful. So you're saying, and let that happen for the highest good for everyone that is involved. Okay, so that's what you're doing with that. I'm gonna cut this short. Most time I go through the whole thing, I don't think we do, because this is, to me, looks like a reading of really love to me. That's really what. So that's be Archangel Shamiel, which I had really asked to be here. She's really Shamiel is her always, and they both ambiguous period as far as form. Had asked to be present here as well. So I'm seeing love that's really being represented there. So let me see what you have to do as far as with your divinity, and what do you have to surrender. Clear. And just do with the whispers of love in there too. For the Divine Feminine. Okay. Or do we have to surrender to get that? On this in the messages. Ooh wee. Okay, that's quite a bit. Okay, so the Divine Feminine, you still got some shadow work to do. That popped up with that tribe card, playing small. There's still some things going on. I still want to say Divine Feminine. It doesn't matter what you kind of portraying on the outside to other people, to the world. Let's say deep down inside, you're still kind of wearing a false mask. I want to say that to the world. It ain't really perfect as you try to portray it as. So, you know, this work on your shadow work. Okay, so things that still is got to be revealed and healed. Okay, I put it that way. Surrender worry. Make a commitment not to lead an anxiety-driven life. And I think this might be what it is also the shadow thing, the worrying, because you're making it seem like, yeah, I'm standing in my power, but you're still worrying about things. Breathe them out of your body. Focus on the power of your heart and have faith that spirit is guiding you always. Okay, so this is what you got to surrender in order to help to work with this as well. For the divine masculine, you had a lot. For you, you got to, in your divinity, you got to work on your selfhood, which is true. Take your time out, do the work with your emotions, getting in touch with that, but then remember to take time out. That was also revealed with the retreat card. It said that you got to find some moments to retreat, especially to deal with these emotions that you're going through. How do you do that? It said you got to surrender unhealthy relationships. Let go of relationships that don't serve you, including unavailable or toxic people. You deserve to be treasured by others and to be surrounded by positive people. This week, definitely, I don't know if it's transferring into the next, this week, but the last week, this was definitely a key role. A lot of them saying, a lot of the psychic, the readers were saying that, you know, we got to get to the point that the divine master is at the point that he's weeding out people that don't belong, don't serve. I say still keep this on, because again, the objective again for this week is how do you love, show love to others. And first of all, you got to show love to yourself and show love to others. You know, if they're not showing it to you and it's not a law of reciprocity going on between the two of you all, then it's time for you to kind of let it go. So you're really going to have to start looking at relationships that are no longer good for you, especially when you talk about your selfhood. Surrender your desire to control people. Being over controlling can sabotage relationships. To more effectively achieve your goals, back off, regroup, and give the situation some breathing room. You too need the baby to detach. I don't know, just like what she had said, tarot, I think tarot prophecy or whatever it is, has stated that she could feel her twin being very controlling, looking at her Facebook or whatever, you know, saying he felt that they need to do this, or he kept on contacting and things like that. So you got to kind of let people kind of find their own way as far as that. You can't really keep on manipulating a situation and hoping that it turn out a certain way. When it comes to love, especially true love, you know, the old adage is true. You got to let it go, set them free, and if it comes back, then it belongs, then you know it belongs to you. Or you say, oh, it belongs to me. So, you know, that's what you have to kind of do about that. That control stuff doesn't work. Okay, a lot of times that backfires. Okay, and surrender, that means, oh, you try to make the situation a certain way, calling and, you know, make sure you own a man, the divine feminine, although she done told you deuces, you know, let it go. I've told you I'm over here with Joe, and you still up there trying to make things happen and sending flowers, and she like, I told you I'm with my soulmate. And, you know, you trying to control the situation. You say, nah, because now I know you belong with me, and God done told me and all this stuff. And she said, well, God ain't told me, and, you know, and closing the door. And so, you know, you can't control the situation. You got to kind of let it breathe and let it naturally happen. Surrender low self-esteem. You deserve success, love, and abundance. Set an intention to identify and release any remnants of low self-esteem. I said that with the divine feminine that came out, and it seems like it's reflected also with the divine masculine too, because really, you know, once you get to that point, some of the divine masculines do not believe that they deserve love. You've got to come to that point that you deserve love. The divine feminines, I believe, have came to that point that they say, I deserve love. That's why they're in that stance or standing in their power, looking at this male. It could be any male that comes to him, say, okay, I'm in my power. I know I deserve love. You got to come with a certain type of swag, certain type of talk. You got to come with something to the table to offer to sit down at this table with me. Before I was letting everybody, Joe Smo and anybody, yeah, I kissed a lot of frogs, let a lot of frogs sit at my table, but now I'm at the point that I ain't doing that no more. So, you know, you got to make reservations through open table. Let's see, you going to sit down at my table. You got to be weeded out. Now, I'm looking at you saying, I'm not impressed with what you bringing. So that's the same thing you got to do with you, divine master. You got to get to the point that you are really at a point that you have self-esteem, that you believe that you deserve success, love, and abundance, because I'm seeing, and I'm kind of not really liking that, but I'm seeing that this financial thing is going hand in hand with what's going. It is some kind of, I call it like a virus, a bug here with these twin flames. Some of them are these twin things, ascension partners or whatever. I talk the lingo because that helps you all to know who I'm talking about. But through the community, it's a lot of barely getting by. And you be saying, okay, well, if I'm the so-called chosen one, then abundance is my birthright. I mean, to me on this. So I'm not really getting this where this is hand in hand going on, because again, like I said, I have to remember money is also a tangible currency of love. And so if we're around here, a lot of us saying, you know, I ain't got, I wish I could, but I ain't got it right now. We got to check our way of loving. And that goes back to, again, how do you show love to others? Because it's not an open channel. To me, again, I'd probably go with our sacral there. We got to open that up to be able to, like the money problems, because that's, again, intimacy, the exchange of energy through paper, through dollar bills or whatever between us. And if we get to the point that we're saying we don't have that, that's we got to check and get some introspection of that. That's either ancestral, that's going back to past lives, and we've got to find some kind of way to kind of check that and cut that off. Okay, I'm going to go to my other one. What is it? What time is it? Oh, y'all. Okay, I'm going to see what is the divine feminine. Clear. What does the divine feminine want to say to the divine masculine? It's got a lot. And what does the divine masculine want to say to the divine feminine? Okay, the divine feminine wants to say this. Get to know each other. Learning to meet another's need for love is important for a relationship to grow. Okay, so you got to get to know. I think a lot of times the divine masculine is kind of scared in the past. That's why they say be open-minded. Be at that point like the gentleman is sitting up and kind of say, okay, now I'm listening. You got my full attention. That's what he's looking at. That's now it came to me. As to what you're saying, you know, I see open, you're giddy, you know, the whole vibes of you is positive. And so now I've got to really say, you know, I'm focused, I'm fully focused. You got my full attention. Now I was kind of sidetracked by the karmic situations, things going on in my life, but now I'm laser beam on you. So now with you having that newfound divine masculine, you should be able to use that to get to know the divine feminine and yourself much better, especially when you talk about this low self-esteem. You got to work with that. So in order for you to learn how to know each other, it's going to help your relationship to grow. So you got to find some ways to spend quality time, whether it's the divine feminine in the 5D, divine feminine in the 3D, or, you know, just really kind of getting in touch with yourself as well, too. Getting to know your emotional, your softer side, like the softer side of Seers. She also wants to say demonstrate love. Find out what is important to the people you love and act on it. I think this is also her saying, I'm sending a little shade to you, saying, you know, okay, now you're not so distracted. I heard you say you're paying attention to me now. You got I have your own fully undivided attention at this point. And so she's saying also, you know, learn what's important, how to demonstrate love, and learn what's important to people, and then act on it. So that means no more just talking the talk, but walking the walk. Okay, she's saying I'm paying attention to this because, again, like I said in the reading, she needs consistency to feel pretty much secure in where she is. And so that's something that you're going to have to learn how to demonstrate in the way of speaking the language of love in which she understands. Remember, if you don't know that, go get the book on the 5 languages of love to kind of maybe help you, because you'll find out a lot of times what your divine a unisoul partner, there are really a counterpart of you. Although your partners, they might be totally opposite. I don't want the gifts. He thinks love is the gifts. I like to talk. He might say, I don't want to talk. You know, we say, but that's the way I feel love is when you have conversations with me. Like, I ain't too much of a talker. So Houston, we got a problem. You're going to have to find some kind of way to meet me half in the middle and find some things to talk to me about, because if that's the language that I speak of love, then you're going to have to do the same, okay? Next one. Treasures your loved ones. It is important to love others deeply. Again, goes back to today's objective for the week. It said treasure your loved ones. I want to say also that the divine feminine feels that in some ways that you're not really showing love to people in your environment that should or that should and should deserve it. Okay. You kind of throwing it like to say the pearls before the swine. You kind of doing that, and you're not really giving it to those that. And that came out on the reading before, and I don't think I stressed it. I kept it to myself, and that always kind of haunted me. That said, you didn't tell them that they understand that you know some of the divines feel that you spending time on this person, the karmic is putting all this love and attention and affections that way. And, especially if you feel like it's a done deal. To me, I don't think you should be keep on feeding it, When they say don't feed the bears, don't feed the bears. Don't keep on feeding on the slide. Then one day, I seen they had that on Facebook. Did you see that on the news where the Don Bear was looking for, he smelled some protein bar in the glove compartment, and that sucker ripped that car to shreds. All the way from the whole metal out body of it was jacked up. You couldn't even recognize the daggone seats. The dashboard was gone. Steering wheel way over on the other side of the forest almost. He had messed it up till you thought that sucker was got crunched up by one of them compact machines. He had told that sucker up just for a little itty bitty little dag, and I swear the candy bar was maybe been half of this. Wasn't that big for a protein bar, because he said I smelled food and I was hungry. So that's the same thing. So you got to kind of like watch that. Where are you spending all your time and resources in? Some people don't need to be just for a little bit of fat. Now you done did all that to the damn car and got this much back in return for the little protein bar. Come on, dude. And so that's the same thing, like it's saying, some of you divine masters is doing all this over and beyond for these karmic situations, and at the same time, it's just like, okay, that's what you're gonna get in return, just a small little protein bar. Okay, so that's what the divine feminine is saying to you. And honesty is essential. To be a loving person, it is important that we speak truthfully and in a loving manner. That's the same thing, yes, with the divine masculine. Really, like I said, she said that the reader I told you, she said her thing was respect. And again, I said my thing was trust. When those two things are broken, especially if you're divine masculine, like she said in the divine feminist reading, say you want reconciliation. Those things has got to be shown just like this consistently, and you got to do it with the mask off. I got to see who is this. Because you can tell in this card she don't want to give you no time of day, because she really saying, who the heck am I turning around for? You looking like the Phantom of the Opera. And, with this rose here, that's nice. The rose is beautiful, but you got to do something to make me say, turn around. Every now and then I get a little bit. You got to do something that make me say, oh, okay. You done did this before. You always come to me with this mask on. Now we take the mask off and you present me with the rose. Then that's something that's going to make me say, oh, okay. Hi. Okay, now we can talk. That stuff here, you doing stuff that she already seen before. So this is what she's saying. Honesty is the best policy. Okay, divine masculine to the divine feminine. You saying to consider your foundation. you are being asked to look at how committed you are to love. And I don't blame them, okay? I like that. That's almost like the kids. Oh, Lord, they didn't get a snap back. That's a clap back here and there. Okay, I need to do all this, but let me tell you what you need to do. You need to be committed. Where are you at, Divine Feminine? You are all over the place. You done threw the deuces at me. You say I'm on this with the soulmate. I'm looking for a new love. You ain't saying that song all up and down until the cows come home, you know, about that. But at the same time, it's just like, okay, your stuff, your foundation isn't right of how you building this. Again, Divine Feminine, you're housing energies for two. It's you and the Divine Masculine, whether you're in it or not physically, your spirit is still in it to win it, regardless. So you've got to understand. Many of you have wrote me down about, I'm sorry, Divine Sunshine, I can't get with it. I done really let it go. Even if it's that way, if you do the work on yourself and say, I got to get my masculine side, my analytical side, and my emotional side together, I've got to do the work for myself. Even if you just find yourself saying, I'm just doing it for myself, and I'm going to look and see what are the areas that the Divine Masculine needs to work on, and then also the areas that, along with the areas that the Divine Feminine work on. Fine. Some kind of way, again, like I said, over the rainbow, that is going to be sent over to him to let him know that, okay, you know what, on his end, yeah, okay, she's doing the work, and that work is helping fix some things within me, and I'm going to go and do those things, and I'm going to throw it right back at her because something's getting programmed to me that I need to make some changes, okay? So again, he's telling you, yeah, but consider your foundation, like they say, your stuff, your house. Those who got live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. You know, he's saying, look at your foundation. My foundation, we've been knowing this from the beginning of time. You all been giving the Divine Masculine bad rap. But let me tell you, your foundation isn't right either. You're not founded in love either, or unconditional love. It's a love of condition and boundaries that you have. So, you know, like I say, you're doing new love. Look at the new love that you're looking at. Your way of thinking of new love should be across the board. How you love others as well. That goes back to the objective of this week. How do you love? How do you show love to others? Make sure that you're doing it in the right way. Also, the Divine Masculine says this: love who you are. You are divine and wonderful person, observing all the wonderful things that life has to offer. So the same thing with you, Divine and Feminine. He is saying, you know what, even through all of this in your foundation, I still call you beautiful. That is funny. I had said, and I do have that gift too, and I'm on kind of on that as well. When people pass over, I could be able to talk to loved ones that's passed over, or people that have. And I heard, that was so funny, I heard with Nipsey, and that's why I had played him. Nipsey Hussle's, he talked about his wife, Lauren London. And he was just saying, you know what, I wish that I could tell her that she is the most beautiful person that I know. And that I've known, you know, just in my world. She's just the most beautiful person. And I was like, oh, you know, I don't know how to get that message to her. You know, I don't know her personally. You know, but that way, maybe some kind of way somebody knows that's on my channel that knows her personally. You could tell them that, you know, tell her that he said that he thinks that she was the most beautiful person in the world to him. She was just beautiful inside and out. Then the next thing, I turned on my turned my phone on Facebook. They were showing the funeral over at the Staples Center, and whose face was it on there? She popped up. First thing, Facebook went through the timeline, showing live video feed of the funeral, and she was talking right there on the podium. I said, okay, well, through maybe some kind of way, maybe we through the soulmates. I believe he was a light worker as well. I'm still going to say that. And us together through that connection. I say I will send that energy and that vibe through the ethers. It maybe some kind of way spiritually we're all connected. She'll get it that she's the most beautiful person that you know, that I know. Okay, so that way it'll get to her. All right. So love who you are. The divine masculine is looking at you. That's the same thing, just like he's looking at her. That's the same way that he is looking at you. I'm kind of picking this up, and this came to me also as well. The divine masculine is saying this: what if that was you? Lauren London was you, divine feminine. Some of you all, thank God, no matter how the situation ended, it is, picture that Lauren London at this point is not going to be able to, was not going to be able to, he just said, I told you you're the most beautiful. Okay, thank you. All right, you love who you are. Leave the hair alone. Thank you. That she won't be able to kiss, hug, have an argument, have a fight, talk to him, pick up the phone, hey baby, see him walking down the street. That's over for her. Those days are gone. And that's the same thing that you have to think of. We know, although the divine masculine has done all those things, but unlike Lauren London, they're saying you have a chance to, if you change your mind and then one day say, I want to love him again. Unlike Lauren London, that time is gone. She can't get him back. She can love him in her heart through her memories, of course, through her dreams, through her children, the child that she has with him. I think she adopted his children too. Whatever. I'm not too familiarized. Just no surface things about him as well. But at the same time, you again have him physically here. You have a chance to, if you want to change your mind, you're able to do that. She can't. Thank God that he's not, your divine masculine is here, not in a situation that they have crossed over. Picture yourself to be in that position where it's crossed over. And then you have, all you have to do, and not to be derogatory, you have to make love to him through the fifth day, which is the same. We know spirit is the same thing. You got to love them. You have conversations with them. You got to then do it in dream state. From that, you can't have that with him physically. So I say this, and all this is that, you know, some of you all, if it is salvageable and it is savable, that you're saying, you know what, this decision that I've made to be disconnected from my twin or my sensual partner, my divine unisoul, came from an ego, then I would say come again and think of, like I said, Lauren London and that opportunity in which he'll never ever get again. To be able to physically touch and show love or whatever else in the form like that again to him. That's a very hurting feeling. So when that person made that decision to off him, they really, like they say, they took the dreams of a daddy from the kids. They took the love that she was able to express to her life partner or her significant other. She will not be able to do that again. So again, I'm just saying this is just to kind of think about, again, back to what he's saying, think about your love and your foundation, and remember that, you know, love who you are, divine feminines, in the state that you are in, but make sure that you're doing it again, that it's not from off of false pretenses too, of why you're making the choices that you are currently when it comes to the divine masculine. You know, remember that we said we were going to be here for unconditional love. You can show it in different ways, you know, that does not have any consideration that you got to be physically there, but you don't have to sit up there and continuously keep harboring those emotions of being upset with them. I ain't gonna forgive him. What he did to me was, you know, X, Y, and Z was awful. I know, like I said, if I would be able to say off air and tell you, okay, this is what he did X, Y, and Z, you all be like, oh my God, grass and pearls. I don't know why the hell you even still even talk to him or whatever. If we say we are practicing truly unconditional love, and not at the point that the unconditional love is you bowing down and you becoming a regular emotional rug for them to kind of step over and do whatever they do caca poo poo on you, then that's not what I'm saying. But there's a point to, I think about this man, and I'm finished. On Nubian News, she had him, I think it's Conversations with Soul. He did that. He's talking about a girlfriend. It was an ex-girlfriend. Then he said he had did dirt. He did wrong. He said that he was at the emotional point at that point that he wasn't right in the head. And so then he said years later on, he came back to his city. I think he said he lived in Texas. And he really said he didn't have nobody else to call because he had gotten himself into some kind of problems. He was stranded or something in his car. And he couldn't, he had nobody else he could call but her. And he said, do you know, although I ain't talked to her for years, she did pick up and say, okay, what do you need from me? She asked, you know, a little bit, you know how women are. We're a little kind of semi-cold because we still kind of feeling a little sting of the hurt from what had happened. But she still went on ahead and went and helped him out, and said, okay. And she said that they talked a little bit, and from that point on, and every now and then they keep in contact with each other. That's unconditional love, because I'm sure he did a dirty thing, or that for him and the man to admit, he said, no, I was dirty, I was low down, but still she came to me. That's unconditional. That's unconditional love. They're just saying, it's beyond that. It's about a human being that's in need. I'll help you out. I know some kind of way I'll be blessed in return for doing that. Again, so I'm just putting this on your mind. You think about it. Like I said, I'm only preaching from a standpoint. I'm telling you as a person that's saying, oh, she telling me to do that, and she don't know, she ain't been through. Oh yes, been through it, been through the fire, and still in the fire. So I can understand that. But at the time, like they said, with forgiveness, you get to the point that you're saying, I ain't doing it for you, I'm doing it for me. Because I can't walk around with that. Me drinking poison, thinking I'm going to poison you, and I'm supposed to be poisoning you, and I'm poisoning myself in the process. All right, so I'm going to end with that. This is a long one. Teeth are 2 points. I don't know what I'm going to call this one. But anyway, it's almost divine thing, and channeling. It did come. And just a fireside chat on this one too as well. Again, I will be doing a reading that's on, you can go to my website, www.divineunisols11.com. You can book that away, or you can also look at the link down below when I do put on it. And if I have not look at the previous one, and it's going to be there, in which you could do online reading, which is you can book an online reading, which is this month's April, May, and June. I'm going all the way to June, which will be a $7 holla special, which you will have a reading for 15 minutes. This is do a check-in to see what's up with your union, either it's a union with yourself or union with your twin. Very informative. They kind of keep you in track, especially with all these energies that's going on now, to kind of see where everybody is at and kind of get a gauge on it. All right, till next time. Like I said, next week I will be home. I am going to do a series on the angels. Each four of them, you can listen to them at any times that you want to. And so we'll be working with angels. We got to work with other people, guides, angels, other entities, and spiritual higher powers to kind of help us give a little push and a nudge into our union with ourselves and our counterparts or our ascension partners, or it's either or we just doing union for ourselves and say, get a sign of cross, whatever you all, some of y'all feeling, and say, thank you, Father. Let them continue on their path into some kind of way, just like light. It comes and it intersects on its own. Okay, so if that's where we're at this time, we're going to bless that idea. And so whichever way the universe backs that for everybody's highest good that's involved, we say with that, amen to that. And so it is. So, okay, until next time, stay uplifted, stay motivated, stay ascended. Namaste, Namago.